What's up everybody? I'm Brian from I Want Tesla, and you know, some men take pills to enhance their stuff. Some women get breast implants to enhance their figure, and I'm okay with that. But today, I'm upgrading my nuts. Take a look, here's my nuts.
These nuts? Got him! Got him!
High performance lug nuts. We're talking about lug nuts. Get your mind out of the gutter. So real talk here for a minute. These are not for every person. These are for the Tesla owner that wants no compromises on the quality of the parts that they put on the car, and they want the best of the best. So again, this isn't for everyone because these are not cheap. These are 100% grade 5 titanium. These are precision milled to the exact angle of the stock wheels. I believe it's a 60-degree angle. What the issue is with the original lug nuts, these are aluminum, which can warp with heat and can warp with extra pressure. So if you over tighten these, you can mess the threads up because they're softer. And then if you're on the track, these will heat up, and then this cone shape can warp a little bit, which is going to put odd pressure on your wheels, which then will put odd pressure on the rotors. Will twist the rotors, which would make you have to buy new rotors. With titanium, first of all, they're lighter, and that's not really a huge issue because there's only 20 of these on the car, but they are half the weight of these. But they are unsprung weight, so if you're looking to race, you're always looking for every little ounce you can get off of the car, because these cars are heavy to begin with, and unsprung weight is like twice the value of getting the weight off of it. That's why people use very light wheels and, of course, lug nuts. Well, titanium is one of the strongest metals, and it absorbs heat really well, so this will not distort in the heat. There's a hole right through it, just like the other one, so the heat can escape, but also this is going to not warp, which will not warp your wheels. Again, not for everyone, but this is for the individuals that want the best of the best for their cars. Whether it's an S, X, or 3, this will work on all of them. Plus they're corrosion resistant. I mean, look at the way this is beat up. How soft this is. I guess I've taken my wheels off more than most, but the people going to the track are going to do that as well. So, I mean, this is brand new, hasn't been on the car yet, but this is kind of messed up a little bit. This is already worn. These were sent to me by Teslarati. Gene did his research on lug nuts because they had some issues with their lug nuts on their car. And they went from these to the leading brand, which are the black ones in this picture here, which are okay. They have, a lot of them have like a titanium coating on them, but that's just on the outside. The inside's aluminum, which can warp, which can have issues. This is 100% titanium. I mean, this is light. I mean, I got some light nuts here. Whoa. I almost dropped it, it's so light. Jeez, it's like made of helium. But no, titanium, not helium. This is designed to fit perfectly on your wheel and not cause any issues and keep that wheel on there nice and strong. Plus, when you go to the car show or go to the track, you'll have the best looking nuts. And you'll want to show them off. I mean, there's so many jokes here. This is ridiculous. But if you do want to cover your nuts up, they make these little covers. That way when it's bolted on, it doesn't look like anything, and people won't see that you have special nuts. I mean, your nuts are special. I'm going to put these on today because I'm going to the track tomorrow. But while I'm putting these on, I'm going to take my wheels off and prepare my car for the track. Since I just lowered my car not that long ago, it's been a couple 100 miles, so I'm going to take the wheels off, make sure everything's tight. Then we're going to secure these back on. And they do fit on the spacers. So if you have the spacers and you want a wider track, these will work on the spacers. The spacers that I did the video on. I don't know, not every spacer will work, but after I get back from the track, I'm going to give you my opinions on these, how they held up. I'll take one off and show you how they held up. I'll give you my opinion next week.
Alright, that was an amazing hot lap with Kyle driving his car. I wouldn't Tesla.
So, I'm back from the track. I'm back from testing these for a little over a week now. And I've got some interesting things that I learned about at the track. You know, I went to the racetrack. It's kind of like a school, really. We've done this before, and if you haven't seen the video, check it out down below. I learned some things about my nuts. And yes, there was a ton of puns at the racetrack because I did tell some people about these. So they held up just fine. No issues whatsoever. Even roasting the tires, drifting this car. My buddy Kyle, who put on the event, destroyed the back tires on my car. From drifting, he basically drifted a whole 2-mile lap and then came around and drifted around me a couple times, did some 360s. And when he was done, the passenger side rear tire cords were all over it.
That's impressive. That's all the way around like that.
Yeah.
Usually you get them in the shop, there's like patches.
Yeah.
Not shreds.
This one's got chunks out of it, but nothing like that one.
Thank you to Electrified Garage that showed up. Rich Rebuild's garage that he built. He's got 2 awesome mechanics there that came down to the racetrack. They brought their Model 3 rear-wheel drive and enjoyed the day there. Luckily, Chris and Chad were there because they were able to, while I was on the track still, they were able to source 2 tires locally, bring them back to the track and put them on for me because the facility had a tire machine there. Thank you guys are awesome. We got to talking about my nuts and everything and made good connections with them. Really cool guys. Too bad they're way up in Connecticut. It's a little drive from here. Interestingly, the tire that blew, well, it didn't pop, but it went flat by the time they came back with the tire. The tire that went flat was the same tire that went flat on my wife when she was driving the car. And that one took about 10 ounces. I think those things are ounces, those little stick things. I'm not certified to change tires, but it took 10 weights, he said, or 10 ounces, or he said that was quite a bit. That was almost at the point where you need to look farther into it, where you take the wheel off and see if the wheel is warped. And I believe it is. And I told him that I had a flat tire on that one before after a long drive, and he said it could be because of that. Well, if you look at the threads on this, see how the threads are, how the scoring, that's where it meets the rim, and that's where it touches. There's pretty good on this, but there's some gaps here. That tells me that the stock lug nuts are already warping my tires because I'm pretty hard on my car, but they're already starting to warp. The one I took this off of was not the one that had a flat tire before. So I think with being on the track before, braking hard, driving hard, drifting the car has effectively warped the rotor or warped the wheels just a little bit. Now, if I would have had these from the beginning, I don't think that would have happened. My nuts would not have gotten oddly shapen and it would not have moved the wheel a little bit. When your nuts are out of alignment, it's going to force on the sidewalls of the wheel a little bit different. It's not seating perfectly. Like this one is trying to seat perfectly on the wheel, but the wheel is not perfect. When I get new wheels and tires, I'm definitely putting these on right away to alleviate that problem. These will not warp. These will, even though this wasn't seating well on the rim itself, this is not going to warp from the heat because titanium is extremely strong and it's going to prevent that from happening in the future. Is everyone going to need this? No. Just driving 20 minutes to work and back, you're probably not going to need something like this. But if you're doing any performance driving, or if you're driving a lot in the heat, say in Arizona or Florida or something like that, and you drive a lot long distances, or your car stays outside all the time, it's not in a garage like in here, I definitely would think about looking into these. Yes, these are a little bit expensive, but in the long run, I think rims are more expensive than these. The only drawback to these, well, they are expensive, but the only drawback to these really is the color. I wish these came in different colors. These kind of match my the theme of my car a little bit. I wish they came in different colors so they're not so obvious, because these are very expensive and you don't want people to steal your nuts. You don't want people just grabbing your nuts and just running off with them. That'd be dangerous, and it sounds like it would hurt your pocketbook. Not, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry for all the puns, I'm sorry for all the dad jokes, but I mean, we're talking about nuts here, come on. The guys at Electrified Garage were amazed at how light these were, how strong they were, and these are the coolest nuts they've ever held in their hand. If you want to pick these up, there is a link down below. If you want to know some more information about them, these are the ones that are sold by Unplugged Performance. They have some data there. So check them out if you're interested. And if you're not interested, please don't put in the comments something like these are way too expensive, waste of money. These are for a certain type of person, someone that wants to show off their nuts, have the best of the best. You know, there's a lot of things we do to our cars, me included, that are not necessary. I mean, a Tesla is not necessary. It's kind of extreme. So there's a lot of people that want to go that one step farther. Don't discourage anybody if they want to get their fingers on their nuts. Sorry, that was the last one. How many jokes were there? How many jokes were in this video? Leave that down below. Instead of being negative, leave that down below. Count them all up. I had fun with this, and I hope you enjoyed it. It was very punny, and I'll catch you on the next one. Stop looking at my nuts. I'll also have a link in the description for this socket that I found. Really cool, nice and long shaft so you can get your nuts off. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.